I always share with people, Oprah was told she didn't have a face for TV. Like, imagine if she listened. Imagine, right? If you keep listening to that inner critic, what it is keeping you from pursuing in your life, what it is keeping you from achieving, who it's keeping you from serving. Like, at the end of the day, when you think of the people that are really moving the dial, really be honest with yourself. They're not movie stars. They're not beauty icons. They are real people that are sharing something that people can relate to. And that's what makes someone super successful. Look at Gary Vee, look at Tony Robbins, Brene Brown, Oprah Winfrey, Russell Brunson. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like, but I will say that it is a muscle. And the only way I got good at something, the only way you're great at what you do things I can't do because you've had more experience, time. So commit to showing up, commit to being uncomfortable, commit to imperfection. Just decide today, I am good enough. There's someone out there right now that is Googling what I can do for them, right? And I'm going to make myself visible so I can help that person.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, 2022, a brand new edition of the None of Your Business podcast. Now, this year, we're going to switch it up just slightly. So thankful for all of the viewers and listeners who downloaded and consumed content in 2021. 2022, we're still going to be bringing you amazing guests. We have an amazing guest this week, but also I can't wait because we're going to drop in even more shorts. And the shorts, we're going to talk about current events. Like, people want to know what Lacey thinks about Succession. They want to know what you think about Novak Djokovic and his vaccine status.
I have lots of thoughts.
They want to know about all of these things. And so we're going to drop in some None of Your Business shorts for you guys. Make sure that you've subscribed to the podcast because it's going to be great. The lineup of guests coming this year is absolutely incredible, as it was last year. And we're going to continue to hammer away for each and every one of you who is a service-based entrepreneur. For those of you that have a big heart and passion for serving the world with something that you frankly think can change the world, but maybe you don't embrace the ideas of being an entrepreneur. And I got to tell you, you've got to embrace the idea of being an entrepreneur. How else are we going to share with people about what you have to offer the world? How else are we going to make a big impact? How else are we going to drive more revenue and create the lifestyle, frankly, that you deserve? So all of that and more. Happy 2022. Happy New Year. Are you ready?
Yes. Are you?
Yeah, let's bring in Keri Murphy. She is this week's guest. She is from, you were just saying you love this name, Inspired Living.
Yes.
Like, that's what a great name. And we're going to be talking with Keri today about video, which we love that too, right? We think that that is so important that you've got to get your message out there, especially if you're a service-based entrepreneur. So I can't wait to hear what she says. We're going to dive into her long list of experience, accolades. She didn't just wake up yesterday and decide she was an expert at video, which a lot of people do that, right? So
or they don't do video altogether because they're scared, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
She didn't do that. Keri, thank you so much for being with us on the None of Your Business podcast.
It is so wonderful to be here. And I'm excited to listen to those shorts. I want to hear your perspective. So I'll be listening in. I'll be listening.
I love it.
So let's dive in. Video.
Yes.
We've been champions of video for a very long time. A lot of people are champions of videos. We understand the importance of it. But here's what we know. Most people, they don't want to do video. I mean, and the list of reasons why is endless.
Yeah.
We can talk
Very
about
long.
People will come up.
Yes.
Yeah. People will come up with every reason possible, every story they can give you, right?
Let's start there, Keri. Why video for entrepreneurs?
Why? I mean, hello, do I even need to answer this question? This is where we live, right? Everyone is online. Here's the thing. I've been teaching this now for over a decade. And when I look back at my previous businesses, when I started them in my 20s, I always used video to grow my business. I just wasn't really aware of it. But now we know that everyone lives online. Social media is where we all hang out. We're looking at stories and reels. And so video is what we do. It is what we watch. It is infotainment. 8 out of 10 views online are video. And here's the most amazing thing. When you look at statistics and what causes people to buy, obviously commercials have been around since media, came to be. But my friends, people are 79% more likely to buy a product or service online after watching a video. So if you're a service-based entrepreneur, and I love it, you have a big heart, you want to make a huge difference, and yet you keep telling yourself, I'm not ready, I'm too this, I'm too that. I'm telling you, like, you're not too late. The boat has not sailed. You're still able to jump on it. But if you want to grow a successful business, video is not a maybe. It is an absolute hands down must. Gotta play, gotta be visible. Got to share your story.
Did you say 79% of people?
Yes, I did.
I mean, that is a huge number. So for anybody listening out there that has thought about video, hasn't done video, just hearing the number 79%, imagine how much lost opportunity that is, not only for you to get your message out there and for you to provide a service to people that are in need of it, but imagine what that will do to change your own life. And so there's like no reason to not do this.
Yes. Absolutely. There's no reason. And we'll talk today too on kind of getting over that initial fear. My average client is over 40, and there's just a lot. We didn't grow up with the camera in front of our face, and so there's so much intimidation and there's so much comparison and critique, and we're so hard on ourselves. But when I help people really understand that video is not about you, video is about you showing up to serve someone else. Like, the fear really does start to dissipate when you really get that. Like, do what you need to do to feel good about how you show up, but realize that no one cares what you look like. They care that you can help them. And that is the huge key when it comes to video.
I love that you're talking about this, because I've seen some of your stuff and you talk a lot about imposter syndrome and how you can overcome that. Because I think you're right. A lot of people, one of the reasons that they don't do video or that they create that limitation is because they are worried about, what are other people going to think? How will I be viewed on camera? What if my message doesn't come across right? I'm not good enough. There's so many different things. So how do we overcome that particular part of it? Because that's usually the core reason why people aren't doing this.
Yeah, it's a huge reason. And when I was actually diving into researching imposter syndrome, one of the things that I heard, which made me chuckle, is that a true imposter does not think that they're a fraud. Like, a true imposter does not suffer from imposter syndrome, and Michelle Obama does a great video on imposter syndrome as well. And what I will say is this, that when you are starting out and you're putting yourself out there, remember this: you only need to be 2 steps ahead. So often we think we need to reach the certain level of success before we have something valuable to share. But I promise you, you know something that I don't. Your story, your message, what you've been through, your journey, your skill set, your expertise. You don't have to know everything. But when you think about your right fit client, that ideal client, that one person you are committed to reaching online. And I want to go back, because this is a huge door opener as well. Please don't say, hi, everyone. Please don't say, I'm trying to reach everyone. You're not. You're trying to reach one person. Video is very intimate, is a personal medium. And the more you use it that way, the more connection that person's going to feel on the other side. So I want you to just feel like, who can I help? Who am I 2 steps ahead? And if you struggle with ideal client, 9 times out of 10, it was a version of you before you figured it out, right? So just talk to that younger, less experienced version of yourself, and it will resonate. Use words like you, and not all, and hey y'all, or hey everyone. Like, people are craving connection. So when you speak in the singular, when you say, I know you have a powerful message to share, it feels so much different than saying, everyone has a powerful message to share.
Right.
Well, you've been doing video for only 3 years, because you started it in your 20s, and I already learned that. So
yes, just
a
few years. Yes.
In the 3 years that you've been doing videos, maybe it's
Put a
just
zero on that. Just put a zero
Yeah.
on that. Yeah.
So tell us how you got started, because if it is that far back, right now,
Yeah.
everybody has a cell phone, everybody has the ability to just jump on video. If we were even 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that wasn't necessarily the case.
No.
How did you get into video?
Yeah, well, it's a long story. I'll try to condense it for you. But I actually was that little girl growing up who begged my mom to put me in this little performing arts school down the street.
Yeah.
It had modeling and acting classes. And I grew up with a grandmother that looked like Marilyn Monroe. We have a lot of entertainment and music in my family. So I've always just had that draw. And so when I will never, ever forget, I'm 11 years old, the most awkward age on the planet. My mom finally says yes. And I'm watching myself on camera, guys. And it was literally like I was watching the worst horror movie on the planet. And I want to share that because now at my mature age of 40 something, like I can still look back at those videos and feel that way, but it's with such a different eye. So started out super young, did commercials and film, was a spokesperson, worked on E! and TV Guide and all of those things. And then had this aha moment in my first business, which was interior design. I started at 23 and I became the local interior design expert on our morning show. And then I bought the talent agency I went through as a little girl at 27 with my mom, grew it to almost $1 million business when the good old 2008 recession hit. But looking back at that business growth, I was the fashion expert. I was doing vignettes. I was doing commercials. Like I was always using video to build my reach, to position myself as an expert in my industry. But it wasn't like I need to be using video to grow my business. It was just such a natural thing that I love to do. So it made sense that I did it. Now, looking back, I can see what a huge impact using video had. But those, I remember my interior design days, I didn't have a website and, we didn't have social media. And I remember, I think it was like in 2009, I'm so dating myself. But when Facebook came out, and I was like, I'm not getting on Facebook. I'm on MySpace. It's so funny. But how much it has grown. And now we are a multi-7-figure business. And I have to honestly say, it's not talent. It's not skill. It's consistent messaging over time. It's choosing to show up when you don't always feel like it, going out there and being consistent with offers. And so I will say it's possible for anyone, but you have to choose. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be consistent with the message. I'm going to show up when I don't feel like it. I'm going to judge and put on the lights and get going.
Yeah.
So, and I love that, but I also want to speak on behalf of anybody who's listening, who hears that. And then immediately what the thought is, well, of course you're a natural at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at you, you're extremely talented. You have the ability. Yeah. So then there's everybody else that, like, right? Well, yeah, I don't have a background in fashion. I'm concerned about what I'm wearing. I'm concerned about what I look like.
I don't know where to start.
And now you help people like that. Walk us through. Let's talk to that individual. Let's talk to the biggest skeptic who is like, okay, because here's what I think. Most people agree that video makes sense. Right. But then
logically it makes sense.
Yes. Logically it makes sense. Emotionally, we're
so
not
let's start talking to that person who's like, yeah, but of course, Keri, you have a leg up because you've been doing this since you were a kid. It's just natural. It comes natural. For me, it's hard. Let's talk to that.
Which makes me a really good teacher. So what I want to start off by saying is that anything we do for a first time is uncomfortable. In fact, one of my favorite quotes is from Brene Brown, who says, you have to embrace the suck. And it makes me chuckle because when we start something new, we have such grandiose expectations for this like perfect thing. And what makes video so relatable? And I had to untrain myself because I was very hosty, like, hello and welcome to the show. Like no one wants that. They want this. They want the candor. They want the real life. They want the reality. And so I had to actually deconstruct what I even thought people wanted. And the more I am true to me, the more I am Keri, honestly, if we were to go have coffee, go grab a glass of wine, I am no different in person than you see me on camera. And that comes from practice. It comes from getting out of your head, getting into your heart, knowing who you're talking to, knowing why in the world you're talking to them in the first place, right? Because the things that keep people from showing up is what you feel you look like, the fear of being judged, and the fear of what to say. So if you can get out of that, I always share with people, Oprah was told she didn't have a face for TV. Like, imagine if she listened. Imagine, right? If you keep listening to that inner critic, what it is keeping you from pursuing in your life, what it is keeping you from achieving, who it's keeping you from serving. Like, at the end of the day, when you think of the people that are really moving the dial, really be honest with yourself. They're not movie stars. They're not beauty icons. They are real people that are sharing something that people can relate to. And that's what makes someone super successful. Look at Gary Vee, look at Tony Robbins, Brene Brown, Oprah Winfrey, Russell Brunson. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like, but I will say that it is a muscle. And the only way I got good at something, the only way you're great at what you do things I can't do because you've had more experience, time. So commit to showing up, commit to being uncomfortable, commit to imperfection. Just decide today, I am good enough. There's someone out there right now that is Googling what I can do for them, right? And I'm going to make myself visible so I can help that person. And I will say the fear and all the things start to dissipate as you start getting feedback like, oh my gosh, you're talking to me. How did you know what I was thinking? Oh my gosh, your story is like my story. I need what you do. How can you help me? So you start getting that feedback and you're like, this whole video thing, it's actually pretty great.
I'd love to talk more about commit to showing up because I think this is often a difficulty for people because they're like, I'm going to go out there, even though I'm so uncomfortable in doing video, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to put my video out there. And then they get like 3 views and it hurts them. They take it personal. And like, nobody showed up. Nobody watched my stuff. Nobody bought. I didn't get a new client or a new lead. And the commitment to showing up, because like you said, we have these grandiose ideas that we're going to put this video out there and everybody's going to hear our message. So do you have any advice on like that commitment and how to maintain that? Because I want people to know it's okay. People don't watch your videos right at first all the time. And that's okay too, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I still take it personal, but here's the thing. It's not. And it only takes one person. I mean, it takes reaching one person that can light a flame, right? That can light up thousands. So in fact, Seth Godin has a book that is like my Bible. This is Marketing. It's super simple, but he talks about smallest viable market. When it comes to putting your videos out, you don't want to try to reach everyone. You don't want them to go viral. What you want them to do is reach the right people and have that small group of raving diehard fans. He says to be a rock star, you just need 1,000 raving fans. It all starts with one. You reach one, you reach many. You try to reach everyone, you reach no one. So here's the thing. You need to be so committed to your why that as you are pushing that boulder up the hill, right? We talk about the tipping point. There is a point where you're putting all of this effort in and then it starts to take its own momentum, its own movement. I say your message creates a movement, but that is time. Building a brand is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And if you're not committed to it, then don't play. I'm sorry, I know that sounds harsh, but if you're not willing to show up and put the work in, the 10,000 hours, then don't play. It's just too competitive. There's too much noise out there. And if you don't feel you have something to offer, then get out of the pool.
I love that. So let's
I know that's harsh, but I want to say,
I agree.
Like I look back at my old videos and they are such a hot mess. You can go to my YouTube channel. They're still there because I want you to see Tony Robbins started his company. He thought he was going to have a huge room full of people and he had 8 people show up. Right. He built, he booked a whole stadium, like he booked a whole conference center for 8 people. We all start small. Every single person who you think is this grandiose, bigger than life, they started impacting one person. And that ripple effect is what you're looking for.
Yep.
So I want to come back to our skeptic. I'm going to assume that now they're okay with doing video, right? Let's get it more tactical. You talk about 5 types of videos.
Yes.
What types of videos should we be making sure that we are putting out into the world? Inside of that side question to that, how long do they be? Because if I'm gonna make 5 of these videos and they're an hour long, that could be a lot of work and I probably don't have that much content to share with the world
Yes.
yet.
And please don't create hour-long videos. Please don't. Okay. So 5 types of videos. I'll go through them quickly. Now, obviously we know promotional videos. They're all P's, nice and easy to remember. So, but we don't want to just always be selling our stuff because that feels icky. In fact, we teach our clients kind of the 75-25. 75 give, 25 ask. Right? So your videos, I'm going to go through them very quickly, and then I'll go through the time because that's a really good question. So the first one is positioning. You spend all this time, money, energy on creating your beautiful brand on your website. And the goal of social media is to get people off social media and onto your website. Like that's the only piece of real estate you really own when it comes to this online space. So when you have a positioning video on your website, it's about 90 seconds. It's telling them instantly why they're there, why you, what you do, how you do it, and the next step you want them to take. It might be book a call with me, download my free guide, take my quiz. Like you're building a relationship. It's like, hey, we just met. Thank you so much for coming to my home. You're in the right place if you're looking for this. Here's how you get it. Let's keep going. Let's keep building this relationship. This video, I'm telling you guys, when it's done correctly, is a game changer for your business because your conversions on your website are over 72% better than they are right now. Okay, positioning. The next one, this is the heartbeat of your business. They are personality videos. People want imperfection. I always say it will be on my tombstone. Not that I want one, but if I did, the P in perfection stands for poison. The more you try to be perfect in your delivery and your look and what you say and your even production quality these days, people don't relate to that. So your personality videos are the behind the scenes of your life. They are, you in the messy bun with the kids running around. They're you going out on a date or, enjoying your glass of wine or you donating to charity or doing something that is cause driven. People want behind the scenes. So I want you to think about that. Like your stories in your Instagram are the behind the scenes of your life. We don't just want to know about your business. We want to know you because the more we know you, the more we'll buy from you. Personality. The third video is product videos. I consider these twofold really quickly. They're about 3 to 5 minutes. They're your weekly vlogs where you're giving content, product videos. Give great content, and they can also be your online course, those sort of things. Those modules, I would say these days, about 10 to 30 minutes max because we have more ADD than we can handle right now. That brings me to promotional videos. You got to talk about what you do. In fact, if you have a video on your sales page, research shows it converts over 82% better. So we will never promote anything without a 3 to 5 minute video telling you the benefits of joining the masterclass, the group, the program, whatever it may be. And then lastly, proof, social proof. Nothing speaks louder about you than having other people toot your horn.
Hey, let's do let's show people how easy this could be. Let's do somewhat of a promotional video.
Okay.
Let's do one I understand you have a challenge coming up.
I do.
And Keri had no idea that we were going to do this.
Could see she was like, what are we doing?
So
what are we doing?
let's tell everybody about the challenge, but I'm going to have James cut back to you. And then you just like throw together what you would do if we were making a promotional video to get people to sign up for the challenge.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm ready. All right. Here we go. You are a heart-centered entrepreneur who is committed to making a difference on the planet. And you're very aware that you need to be using video. It's no secret that video is the #1 marketing tool on the planet. But when it comes to the tactical, when it comes to the how, your eyes roll back and you give up before you get started. If this is you, I want to invite you to the Get Confident on Camera Challenge. I promise you, if you have any fear about showing up on camera after these 5 days together, that fear will be a small sliver of what it is right now, you're going to have a whole new level of confidence. You're going to understand what it means to clarify your message. You're going to truly embody what it means to be a specialist in your industry. And I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to do to rise to that category of one, to become that go-to sought after expert. Over these 5 days, I'm going to teach you how to get media attention, how to grow your list, and more importantly, make the impact you know you're here to make. If this is something you're interested in, go to inspiredliving.tv/register. And I truly cannot wait to have you with me.
That was 90. James was like, that was right at 90 seconds.
Like, that was a minute and a half on the
exactly
dot.
90 seconds.
I gotta ask, so I love that. That was fantastic. And I want you to break down a little bit, Keri, if you can, because people, when they get in their head and they get too heady about doing videos, they're like, well, what do I say first? How do I do an intro? And what I love about what you did is you connected, like you said, people are looking for connection. You connected with the individual right away versus like saying, hey, I'm Lacey Book and I.
Yes,
so can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's so important, your intro right there.
Thank you so much. And that is a huge part. That's a huge secret that I'm going to teach you right now. Don't start with you. No one cares about you. And I say that with all the love I can humanly muster, because like they don't know you yet. So if you start a video, you have 3 to 8 seconds to keep and capture someone's attention. That's it. 3 to 8 seconds. So if you use that up with, hi, I'm Keri Murphy, CEO of Inspired Living. And for the last 30 years, I've been on camera, and 25 as an entrepreneur. And now I have a multi-7-figure business. Like no one cares. And you've already like made yourself untouchable, right? Like that's not me. I can't do that. I'm going to go do something else. Right. But when you start with them meaning that one person, and you immediately dial in to the pain that they feel, and you help them self-select. Notice I said, you are a heart-centered, soulful entrepreneur. That's my tribe. Like you are here to make a huge difference on the planet. You want to make a lot of money so you can contribute to causes and things that matter to you. You want to create legacy. You want to do good, be good, have good, right? So I know my person, so I help them self-select right away. Now, and then I go into the why for them, right? You know you need to be using video. It's a no-brainer. And yet when it comes to, I know my person, when it comes to the how, it's so overwhelming. You get stuck in your head, you know, you need guidance, so I just go right into that. And so when you start with the why, what's in it for me, WIFM, right? You are going to keep and capture someone's attention so much more, and then go into you, right? Then you'll go into positioning. You know, as someone who's been on camera for over 3 decades and has run 3 businesses, I know how to help you, not just in front of the camera, but behind the scenes. And that's why you want to show up and have me as your teacher, right? So you want to position yourself as the authority, but it's just a quick soundbite. If they want to know more about you, they'll go Google you.
Right.
Well, I want to just reiterate to everybody that was actually real, and that's the
Very
website.
Unscripted, yeah.
But I want people to register. Inspired, with a D, inspiredliving.tv/register. And there's an actual challenge. Like you can sign up for this 5-day challenge. If you need to sort of sharpen the axe when it comes to video.
Or have a little accountability. Sometimes that's what you need. Yeah. You just need a little nudge
maybe from
somebody else.
Every day I'm doing
maybe you're already doing video.
Yeah.
And helping there. I want to talk, you mentioned you would help people to get media. Well, that's a whole other game. So, you know, I can pull out my phone. I'm happy doing that, because if I screw it up, I just say, oh, and I pause and I do it again. What changes when we talk about shifting video, shifting the content, shifting the performance to actual media, whether it's television, podcast, video? I mean, there's so many things out there where we can leverage a platform to serve up our message to even more people, but we lose a little bit of that sort of control to stop it right in the middle if we don't love it. What kind of tips would we have to keep in mind if we're going to do media?
Yeah, and I really feel like everyone can use media, whether it's traditional media. I promise you, like the news and morning shows are still very, very viable. People are still there and still watching. And now we have a gazillion online outlets as well. We've never had more opportunity to show up as an expert. and it doesn't have to cost you a lot. You can do it yourself. I mean, we teach you all of that. But here's the thing is that, and we actually will do role playing with our clients. Like we'll do media interviews. Our head coach, Kelly Day, she was a former broadcast journalism anchor for 23 years. So she's really amazing at pulling out the story. What I think is really important is that, again, you know your audience, you know what you offer, and you know why and you can, just like we're doing right now. And you said performance, and I just want to go back and say video is actually, it's not a performance. And the more you think it's a performance, the more you're in your head. It's just a conversation. But the reporter or the host or whoever is interviewing you, you have to understand they have their questions, but you have your agenda too. And it's very easy to take a question that someone asks and turn it, right, to really benefit what you want to share. You know, like saying, hey, you know what? We think of video as a performance, but actually it's a conversation, even when you're speaking to no one, when you're just speaking through the lens, right? The lens is a conduit. It's just a portal to reach the person on the other side. And when you realize that, media interviews, again, you have to know why you have to know who you're trying to reach, and you need to know the benefit of the outlet, right? Whether I'm on LinkedIn or YouTube or a morning show or the news, know the demographic they're trying to reach, know the audience, because that makes a huge difference in how you show up as well.
And I love that. I want to break that down just a little bit more, because I'm going to slightly disagree, but just slightly. I
okay.
Absolutely
I love it. You can disagree.
I understand the point, but I would say that, at least for me, and maybe for you a little bit, but definitely for me, public speaking, appearing on media, for me, is a performance. And I'll tell you why, because inherently I am the guy that, like, so Keri, there is zero chance that we would ever have this conversation if I walked into some place in Carlsbad and even you came up to me and you were like, hey, are you Sean?
He's a total introvert.
I would totally say, yeah. And then like move away.
I would talk to you. I would totally.
Thank you. Thanks, Lacey. Thank you.
So here's what I've learned over time. And so to a degree, it was creating a character, like stepping on stage and doing a talk for thousands of people requires me to enter into, in essence, a character who who I created. I love this. Like Todd Herman talks about this, an alter ego effect, right? I had to create a character that would talk to someone like you. I had to create a character that would do media. I had to create a character that would do a presentation. And in that sense, for me, it's kind of like I have to kind of like snap into that character to enter into the performance. And that was sort of the vehicle that I was kind of alluding to. However, there is a fine line between like, oh, I'm super over the top and it's a performance, and being transparent and being authentic. Talk to us about that. What is that line there? And how do we stay on the right side of that line?
Yeah. And I want to go back to that because everyone has their own way that they show up. Beyonce has her Sasha Fierce. I think depending on your personality and what you need, kind of having that alter ego that you step into is what you need to be able to show up. But what I want to say is that if it feels contrived, if it doesn't feel authentic, right, which is what we're going to talk about next, it will not resonate. So if you are doing, if you're stepping into that character has to connect. So for me, there's a unique differentiation between authenticity and transparency. And this is just my take, but to me, authenticity is the how you show up. It's how you speak. It's your mannerisms. It's your language. It's your cadence. It's your vocal tone. It's all of those things that when I hear you, when I see you, it feels authentic. It feels like I'm in a room with my best friend or with someone that I want to get to know. Now, transparency is how much you share. And this is where most people get skittish because they're saying, well, I don't want to share my dirty laundry. I'm going through a divorce right now, or I'm going through a personal challenge, or, good God, I had COVID, like whatever it might be. Like, how much do we share? Authenticity is how you share it. Transparency is how much you share. And as the guardian of your fortress and your empire, you get to choose what you feel is relevant to your audience, and so I shared with you, my whole family was sick. Did I post that on social? No. Was it relevant to my audience? Not really. So I think you get to choose what feels comfortable for you. But also here's something I really need you to understand. That sometimes the thing we hold on to as that deep, dark secret is the opener, right, to the vortex of having people come into your community. What do I mean by that? A few years back, I found myself pregnant. I was a single mom. Inspired living at that time was relatively new. And in my head, I thought, I can't let anyone know. People are going to judge me. They're going to shame me, right? They're going to think bad of me. Like, here I am, like this, like life advocate and business coach, and I'm finding myself in this situation. And I will never forget the day I was trembling, tears pouring down my face. I had to post. I was showing, like, I can't hide it anymore. And I will tell you that my business doubled that year, because what people saw as just like a talking head, I had so many clients who were mothers that didn't feel like I could relate to that part of their life with them. It just opened up a whole new, like, transparent, authentic conversation that I could bring to my audience that I didn't have before. And so it's those things we feel like, God, if people knew this about me, they wouldn't follow me. They wouldn't like me. They wouldn't buy from me. And it's quite often the opposite. Like, if people knew what you have gone through, what challenges you've overcome, who you decided to be after you've gone through something that really challenged you, like, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for someone to be the guide, not the hero in our journey. Like, we don't need you at the top of the mountain. We need you walking hand in hand with us, letting us know that we're human and that you too mess up. You too make mistakes, that life is imperfect. That is what's going to move your business more than anything else, quite frankly.
I love that. And I think, even just that response, super authentic and transparent.
Right.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that is super vital. And I hope that people that are watching, that are listening, that are connecting will actually take the time. Here's one of the things that we always talk about here is that you can't just listen and say, oh yeah, that's right. You actually have to do things. You have to take your
action.
Phone and you need to go to inspiredliving.tv/register. Get signed up for this challenge. It's not going to cost you anything. You get to interact with and interface with Keri.
Cost you to not do it. If you
Not even you. It cost everybody who you could have reached, and that will never know what impact you could have made in their life. It costs them because you decided to not take action. So please do that. And then look, if you're connecting with Keri, make sure that you explore deeper relationship with her. She's helping people all over the place to amplify their voice, to reach more people, make a bigger impact, and then of course to create the lifestyle that they deserve. And so Lacey and I strongly encourage you to reach out to Keri. This is such a vital, vital thing, no matter where you are. If you're like, I'm already doing 500 videos, well, you can just get a little bit better. And more often than not, you're not doing video. You're like, oh, I know it's a good idea, but maybe this is the year. Well, let's kick off the year by just taking the challenge. Let's get you going on some videos. Last question. I start doing my videos. I'm 50 years old. Should I put these things on TikTok and Snapchat? Where do I put my videos?
Oh my gosh, the question of the hour. I will tell you, I have been pushing myself away from TikTok. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And we just launched my TikTok channel. So here's the thing. Go where your audience is. Go where your audience is. Is your audience on TikTok? If they're not, don't worry about it. Like, when we work with our client, Shama, you're like, pick three. Just pick three platforms. Pick one if you haven't started. Just, again, consistent messaging over time. Is your client on LinkedIn? Are they on YouTube? Everyone should have a YouTube channel. Google owns YouTube. Facebook is trying to compete with YouTube. Everything is moving to video based. Even Spotify is doing video content. Video. So Instagram, huge opportunity there. So just think about, where's my audience and where do I need to show up? And in the beginning, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Do you need to be on Snapchat? Do you need to be on TikTok? You don't have to do anything. Where do you choose to be? What brings you joy? What makes it fun? Make it fun and do that.
I love it. Anything else to add?
No, that's great.
Keri, you killed it. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing with our audience. And I hope that people
My pleasure.
positively impacted. And I hope that people will take action. You've got to get to Inspired TV, inspiredliving.tv
Yes.
/register. Sign up for the challenge. Will really radically make a huge impact in your business. What do you have to lose? So jump on that, inspiredliving.tv /register. Keri, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Loved it.
All right, everybody, we'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of the None of Your Business podcast. Make sure that you like, subscribe, leave us a review, tell us what you want to see more of, and don't forget those shorts. We're going to be talking about all things Dexter. We're going to talk about Dexter. I hated how that ended.
Our dog Dexter?
No, that
Okay.
stupid TV show you made me watch. All right, everybody, we'll be back again next week.